Gafford and Brown Show.
Yeah.
It's 12:16. You're listening to the Gafford and Brown Show. I'm Robert Brown.
And I'm Lamar Gafford.
We're on again. This is our inaugural episode, I guess, since last
Mm.
time I wasn't able to attend because I was sick. But I'm here right now, and we're going to start off a little talk. We got a long show. We got a lot of things to get into. NFL, MLB, college, NBA training camp. We also have a guest today. We have Dr. Broussard, William Broussard, athletic director for Southern University. And he's going to come through and talk to us about the Jaguars' upcoming schedule, the Bayou Classic, the win against FAMU, and anything else he wants to talk about, anything else you guys might want to ask. Lamar, anything you want to add right now?
Well, all I just wanted to add right now is last week was a very good NFL week 4. Guess what? We got our referees back.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's happy. Well, some people are happy. We were happy at first, and then after a few calls, we were like, yeah.
Pretty much the same thing. Back
Yeah.
to the VARS and all that stuff. But at least we did not have any blown calls like we did against the Seattle and the Packers game. In week 4, we had some pretty interesting games. We saw all 3 undefeated teams stay undefeated. The Texans, the Cardinals, and the Falcons are now 4-0. What is your best surprise out of those 3 teams?
Arizona by far. Nobody outside of Arizona expected the Cardinals to be undefeated at this point in the season. I mean, with no quarterback, no real quarterback play. I
Mhm.
mean, they got 2 guys they have no faith in. They have a tremendous defense with Patrick Peterson pretty much being the leader. They have an okay running game. They have Larry Fitzgerald, early Doucette. Solid wide receivers next to Fitz, but
Mhm.
no real quarterback. And yet they're undefeated. It's amazing to me. And I'm interested to see how this goes during the rest of the season. They also have a game tonight,
Mhm.
NFL Network. They're playing the division rival, the Rams.
Mhm.
I'm interested in seeing how Arizona plays against teams that they're now expected to beat.
Mhm.
Like, we expect them to beat the Rams. Even though it's in a divisional game, we expect them to beat the Rams.
Right.
You beat the Patriots, you beat the Eagles, we think you can beat the Rams.
Right. Exactly. And looking at their schedule, it looks like that they have until I think the Packers in week 9. They have a legitimate chance to, keep this thing going all the way. But like we said, it's just crazy that they really don't have a quarterback. Kevin Cobb is not really the quarterback that they pictured him out to be. They got John Skelton in the background, which before last year, I don't think I've ever heard of
I
him.
never heard of that
Period.
guy. Wizard Hunt he needs to be thanking
Mhm.
that defense so much for keeping his job. Because if they had another bad season with all the money they gave Larry Fitzgerald,
Mhm.
all the money they gave Kevin Cobb, and if they would have had another bad start, he would be
Right.
on the hot seat.
Now, I remember before the season, we kind of had like a campaign, like for a free Fitz campaign, like why are you still here with no real quarterback?
He is loyal.
But he is very loyal to his team, and right now the loyalty is paid off. I mean, they're 4-0. There's nothing against that. I mean, there's nothing that you can say about that. That they're just being 4-0. Now, another team that I really want to talk about is the Houston Texans. They are amazing.
They are awesome. I'm tired of people asking, are the Houston Texans real? They
Mhm.
are real. They are realer than Rick Ross's cleavage. They have the best defense in the league. Now,
Mhm.
maybe not statistically. Who's number one? Who's ranked number one?
Let me see. Well, I'll take a look at that right
Well,
now.
as far as performances go, to me, they're number one defense in the league.
Mhm.
They have Mashop, who's a very, I don't want to say he's elite, but he's second tier, a great second tier quarterback. Andre Johnson, we know his stats, we know his legacy. They have a great running game.
Mhm.
They have everything they need. And even if Schaub does get hurt, which most of us expect to happen, they have a proven battle tested backup in TJ Yates.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited about Houston. I think Houston can go all the way. I know it's early, but
Right.
if they stay healthy, I can't see anyone stopping them in the AFC.
Exactly. And you touched on last year's run. I mean, that they did that with a rookie quarterback.
For the rookie.
With a rookie quarterback that was, I think, undrafted.
I think undrafted.
Right.
But I think he went undrafted. Most
Mhm.
quarterbacks from North Carolina don't get drafted.
Exactly.
So
Right.
You know, I'm very confident in
Hmm.
Houston going to the Super Bowl. I would make that pick right now that they're my favorite to come out the AFC.
Exactly.
Can't see anybody stopping them.
Exactly. I can't either. I
And I
mean,
know it's premature. I know it's
right.
only week 5, but I mean the proof is in the pudding. I'm eating all of
Exactly.
it because they just look good. They beat the dog snot out of everyone
Hmm.
they've had so far. They haven't
Exactly.
had a close game yet. I know people are saying, well, they haven't played anybody. Well, they played a pretty good Broncos team.
Right.
They played an overachieving Dolphins team. You
Hmm.
know, they're beating people the way they're supposed to beat them. They're doing it easy. They're
Hmm.
making it look good. So we'll see. Now, Atlanta is one of the undefeated teams that has a question mark.
Right.
We've seen this before.
Yes.
We've seen this movie before.
Hmm.
This time it's in HD. I'm still not impressed. I mean, maybe once they get into the thick of their division, maybe I'll buy into it. But right now, I'm not buying into the hype. They look good on paper,
Hmm.
so we'll see. Well, call me in January.
Exactly. It's just the same thing. It's just the same thing, but just in a different form. Atlanta's always gotten to be this good, but we've seen their playoff lack of success over the 3 times of the 4 years they made it to the playoffs, but yet they got bounced out in the first round. I think Arizona in 2008, Green Bay at home when they had home field advantage in 2010,
Uh,
and then when they only scored 2 points against the Giants in 2011.
yeah,
So it's just crazy.
very embarrassing. So
Exactly.
we can all. I mean, Atlanta. We hope so. But another team I want to talk about right now
Hmm.
is your Dallas Cowboys.
I see.
How can you fix them?
How can we fix them? I do not know how we can fix them right now. Oh wow, that was embarrassing. My bad. Okay. How can we fix them? I don't know how we can fix them really. Uh, it just looks like that this team is about Tony Romo. He threw 5 interceptions against Chicago in the last game, and well, sometimes I feel like Tony Romo tries to do too much. He really tries to do too much. Uh, but he's a good quarterback. Whenever he's on, I feel like he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. But whenever he's off and he tries to do too much, then the hinges start going away a little bit too.
I gotta ask you. If the Cowboys somehow, some way don't make the playoffs, or if they make the playoffs and get bounced the first round, is it time to start over at quarterback?
I would, um, at the point right now, maybe not. I want to blame the offensive line. The offensive line is horrible. They don't give Tony Romo that much time. We've seen that against the Buccaneers, where the Buccaneers stayed very close with him. Tony Romo was getting sacked and hit left and right, and I don't think it's him, but I think they need to try to make a difference at head coach,
You think they need a new head coach?
more than likely.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, well, let's say they do get a new head
Hmm.
coach. He comes. That's going to take time. New system.
Right.
New plays, things of that nature.
Exactly.
I mean, what's the learning curve? What's the standards then? I mean, what if there isn't any success? Then, with this new coach, you can't blame him. So who?
Yeah, that to see that's the tricky thing though. That is really the tricky thing. Right now, all I would just say is I'm pretty much up in the air. I wouldn't make any rational decisions like right now about this. Uh, I've seen the Cowboys do the same thing probably for like the last 5 years. Start off slow, get hot in November, end out very cold in December. And it's kind of like confusing and stuff. You don't know what you want to do, but I don't know what I think they should do. Maybe they should try to help out the running game a little bit. But like we said, with the line being a little shaky, I mean, how can you really do
And
that?
that's a tough division now.
Right.
I mean, that division has come
Hmm.
back. You had the Eagles who were 3-1. You had the Giants or the Giants. Like the Giants, they never looked good at first, but towards the end of the year, they just hit a switch, and then they
Right.
start beating everybody, and then the playoffs come, and they're unstoppable.
Exactly.
You have the Washington Redskins who now have a new quarterback. They have
Hmm.
new confidence. They have a solid defense.
Hmm.
I mean, they can do some damage. So Dallas is in a tricky position right now.
Right.
If every team wins this week, because Dallas has a bye week this week, right?
Yes.
Every team wins this week, they're last, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Man. So I mean, it's going to be tough for Dallas this year. I hope somehow, some way, they can
Hmm.
salvage this season, even though it's not lost. I don't want people to
Right.
start hitting panic buttons. Chicago's a solid team,
Hmm.
and Dallas did beat themselves. But at the end of the
Right.
day, that division ain't getting easier.
Exactly. Well, let's talk about your Broncos, by the way, too.
The Broncos. I like the Broncos right now.
Hmm.
I like the fact that they got punched in the mouth by Atlanta and Houston. I like the fact that they're beating the bad teams.
Hmm.
They beat Oakland pretty handily.
Hmm.
They did away with Pittsburgh, in the fourth quarter. They struggled against Atlanta. They struggled against Houston. But those are two teams that we just talked about
Right.
being elite. You know, New England this upcoming week, I think Denver has a great chance of beating them.
Hmm.
New England's defense isn't the greatest. They have some flaws.
Right.
Um, Tom Brady, he's a great quarterback. He's one of the best in the game, but he's not perfect from what we know. You pressure him,
Hmm.
throw a couple blitzes at him, you get a couple picks, make it an even game, give Peyton Manning the ball back, keep Brady off the field, win the game.
And about Peyton, I know you got to be excited to have uh, Peyton Manning as your quarterback now over Tim Tebow. Am I correct?
Yes, yeah, it's great to see a real offense in motion.
Hmm.
No more wing T, no more options, no more spreads.
Right.
It's great to see actual NFL offense being executed.
Hmm.
However, I was hesitant at first due to the fact that Peyton Manning's 36. He
Exactly.
just got off several neck surgeries.
Hmm.
He didn't play a whole year.
Right.
So there were questions, but
Hmm.
now he's answered the call. I'm pretty confident in him. I'm pretty confident in his receivers. I'm excited as a Bronco fan. I think all of us are excited.
Hmm.
Speaking of Tebow, he's about to get his chance now.
Oh yeah, he's about to get his chance with the Jets right now because it looks like Mark Sanchez is not handling this situation to the best of his ability. And right now, the Jets look like they're kind of a mess right now. Santonio Holmes is out for the year. Darrell Reeves is out for the year as well. They don't look too good. What is your thoughts about the
I
Jets?
think Sanchez gets a bad rep, man. I think
Hmm.
Sanchez this year, I think he's had an okay season. If you watch some of the games, like the
Hmm.
first game we had the three
Oh
touchdowns.
yeah.
That was impressive. I was
Oh yeah.
impressed. Say a broken clock strikes
Hmm.
twice a day, but that day he was right.
He was
He was
right.
on time,
Hmm.
passes and everything. The game against the Steelers, I watched that game.
Hmm.
Lots of drop passes. But look at who he's throwing the ball to. Outside Santonio Holmes,
Hmm.
you wouldn't recognize any of these guys in the street.
No, you
Stephen
wouldn't.
Hill. I mean, he's a talent, but
Hmm.
they're not elite. They're not exactly, people that you can depend on
Right.
in clutch situations. The last game, he had opportunities. Santonio Holmes got injured. He just threw the ball away.
Hmm.
I think Sanchez trying with what he has. I think he's getting a bad rep, but it's hard to, build any confidence when you have Tim
Right.
Tebow breathing down your neck. So,
And especially with the fan base that he brings as well,
oh
because
yeah,
it's like every little bad thing Sanchez might can do. I mean, you're gonna have somebody that might just want this call for Tim Tebow's name. I mean, just like there was in Denver last year with Kyle Orton, which I think is a very good quarterback. And, well, ironically, he's with the Cowboys right now.
right.
But they started off 1-4. People wanted Tebow. Then they eventually got Tebow in, and there you go. So I mean, it's just how can you really build with that? I don't know. You got to try to build confidence. But the one thing that Mark Sanchez really does have going for him, he took the Jets to two AFC Championship games. And I mean, that's got to at least say something, doesn't it?
It says that he's a good game manager,
Hmm.
and when the defense is playing well in the running games, he performs. But when you put all the pressure on Mark Sanchez to
Hmm.
perform, you're probably not going back to the AFC title game anytime
Exactly.
soon. Not saying Mark Sanchez is a scrub. He's not a
Right.
scrub. He's
Oh no.
simply just he needs help.
Right.
He's like a poor man's Alex Smith,
Hmm.
and that's not exactly a compliment. But that's take it for what it's worth.
And the last thing that I really wanted to talk about the recap is the Saints. 0-4.
Boy, Saints fans, it's sad out there, man. I feel bad for them. You know, living in Louisiana,
Right.